Yeah, I'm gonna add the new members to this. I'm gonna get y'all's GitHub. I can just DM me, just y'all's GitHub, so I can add y'all to this. But basically, this is where we're going to be. The leak code, I haven't done any of them. I don't know why I made it, but the leak code one is to publish, for anybody to publish the actual code for it. Audio plugin is our JUCE repository. This is where, for right now, we're gonna have the chain development team work on this. And if y'all are interested in what that is, you can join that portion of the team. Because basically how it's split up, I'll show you how we have it now, with existing members. EQ. Yeah. So this is old, technically, but I mean it's with all the current members. But basically, I split the teams up into sub teams, and each sub team will do their own portion of the audio effect because it's multiple effects. We have four: distortion, reverb, EQ, and chorus. And then how I want it done is where each sub team creates their DSP algorithm, and then from there we implement it into the actual JUCE repository right here. And I'm gonna show you the software we're gonna use for the actual creating the DSP algorithm. So this is another software. This is called Highs. This is built on top of JUCE, and JUCE is the C++ framework for audio development. So this is like a sub thing. This is kind of like Photoshop and stuff. This is its own thing. But the cool thing about this one, is this one.
Water bottle's broken.
Is this?
What did you have?
There's this little plugin.
Nice.
I'm gonna skip a lot of fluff of how this was made, but basically you have this module tree. In this module, you can import and make certain things. So you can make like, well, this is the interface. But if I want to create something, I can go in and create like different types of things. Like, I know you're familiar with audio development, music development. Are you?
No.
No. Basically, actually, I can just load up a plugin on Logic and show you like what a plugin is before I actually start explaining a little bit of this, because it'll make sense once you actually see what they do. Let's see. What should I do? I don't know which one should I do. I showcased this one in high school. So I can just show you this track, and then I'll loop it here, and it's not playing. Interesting.
Is volume on?
Oh, it should play through here, no? Oh wait, here.
Where's the back?
Is it actually playing through that though? Apparently it is. But I'm gonna go through this track and I'm gonna show you what these. I don't know why they changed this. This is Logic Pro. So this is a plugin. This is a piece of software. This is in a VST format. This is a piece of software that is being called by this bigger software called Logic Pro. Logic Pro is a digital audio workspace. So you see like this whole workspace. You have audio forms, MIDI data down here. That you can actually create a project with. And then this uses plugins that actually goes in and manipulates the audio. And we're creating the plugin itself. And so this one, Valhalla Reverb, is a reverb plugin. It creates space. So if I take this off, the piano should sound dry. It should sound like regular piano. And then I'll turn it on and you can hear the difference. Hopefully. It should sound spacier. And there's multiple different types of effects, plugins that you can create to transform your audio. And that's what we're doing. This right here, this is just for me to understand how this software works. And this is just a synth. I can show you how this works. So it has delay and some reverb, but it's just very basic. But basically here, the main gist is that I want y'all, the plugin teams, to create an effect using highs because I want y'all to understand the DSP algorithm involved in actually using it. Because you can use and I have a video of how to make a reverb and delay plugin on YouTube through the same one that it should be there. It's kind of long. It's like 30 minutes. But I go through and show you how to create a reverb and delay plugin, and I stop at some point so that y'all can go in and finish it up. And there's multiple different things. It doesn't have to look like this. There's GUI components or graphical user interface components that you can actually go in and change. So like these knobs itself, they have parameters you can go in and change. Like if I go here, once you make the plugin, we can go in and manipulate the code that like the algorithms for like the effects like reverb, delay, and whatnot, because that is what makes a plugin stand out from each other. You know what I mean? Is the DSP algorithm or the digital signal process done on the audio. So the more unique it is, it's just unique. The whole plugin itself is going to be unique, and people are, I guess, be sought after for it. However, building it from scratch is very difficult, and there's a lot of math involved for you to understand. So to take away that ambiguity, we can use highs to go and create it on a higher level, and then go in and get the like boilerplate at that point and change it so that it can be unique. And the way we're gonna do this, I think I'm gonna have the new people split into teams that already exist. So the 4 that I have over here, and y'all can just text me which one seems the best for y'all, and I'll upload this again on our resources so that you can see which one you want. And you can go in and be a UI UX. That's gonna be also a web dev team as well. Because they built the UI for our website, our wireframe, and I'll show y'all that as well. And it's just a wireframe. It's just the basic components of what a website, how we want our website to look as well. This is what we created last semester for our showcase, and this is how we're going to have the plugin look itself. So the piece of software that actually manipulates the audio is going to look like this. The goal is on the left side, you have these components that you toggle on and off, and it will toggle the components on the right side on and off, right? And then you can also, to make it more unique, is change the order in which you have these plugins. So, you have these effects. So you can have distortion first, swap these out, whatever chain that the user wants, they can do. And that's the whole goal. Because the different algorithm you can have through this would make it more creative for the end user, the beat maker, the producer making the music. This is how we have this, how we want the end goal to look. It'll be difficult in its own right, but using highs or using this other piece of software, we can extrapolate all the like low level stuff that will make it take a long time. So that's how we want the plugin to look. And then this is the wireframe for the project itself, for the website, which is another portion of our team. And I'm going to show you like how it would look on a computer. And if this is something else you're interested in, you can also go in and work with the team we already have for this. So it'll have a landing page, a hero section, welcome to Tonic and whatnot. And then we'll have like maybe a call to action, get started, or a picture showcasing it. This will be showcasing what it is, what our plugin will do. Then you have, I think, might be ambitious, but I want a demo video, a short like 30-second clip of it transforming existing audio.
Is that has anyone like jumped on in terms of wanting to do that? Because I've watched a lot of VST demo. Like I've watched these types. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I know how to do video editing, and I make music, so I could do something simple for us if we would like.
Yeah, we could definitely do that. Yeah, and that will be once we complete the not we don't have to have the UI done, but at least the functionality.
Yeah.
Because then we could just have the pre-processed sound ready,
Yeah.
and then once we have the UI, we can make that something else. We'll have a FAQ section, and maybe some testimonials if we can have like, because I know there's a music clubs here, and we can just send them the executable for them to use and see what they think, and then we can have those as testimonials, and then a contact section with the footer at the bottom, and that'll be the end of this website. And maybe we'll have another page. Maybe these will be separate pages itself, but the whole landing page will be this format. And this is what the UI team, / the web dev team works on. Plugin teams don't have to touch this. But the reason why is because I want y'all to have the freedom to learn different things. So like the plugin teams will learn C++ with Highs. There's scripting through this like project directory. Oh, no. So there's actually like JavaScript scripting that you can use to make these different as well. So that's another thing you can learn along with C++. And then there's another way you could do plugin development. You can use this thing called WebView, where basically the window that pops up is actually displaying a website that's calling back to the back end for actual audio processing. That's something entirely different. I mean, it's not different, but it's just, instead of just using C++ to write everything, you can use C++ and then you can use React, CSS for the styling, instead of just using C++ for everything. But I think for now, we could just stick to the JUCE framework, because that is a little difficult to set up, because you have to have host servers for that website, along with the one we want to make anyways. And then the web dev team, we're going to use React and Tailwind for our UI, and then we'll figure out some type of user database, because I want, like on paper, to show that like we can have user authentication where people sign up. You have the contact page where we have all the list of messages people have sent and whatnot. But what else is there? I know for sure. Oh yeah, I want all the new people to send me their GitHubs, because I have a repository, GitHub organization where we're gonna work on this stuff. Also, a benefit of the plugin teams making their own plugin before we make it in the big one is y'all also have another mini project y'all can showcase. That y'all made as well. The workflow, I guess I can make it real quick. For individual plugins. So the first thing to do would be to actually understand what you're going to be implementing. So whether it's distortion, like if you're on the distortion team, you're going to have to understand like what saturation is, what like bit crushing is. There's a bunch of different types of distortion, but understand what that is to a level where you can implement it in Highs, because Highs has this like script node where you have these basically a bunch of these, think about like sticky notes, but each sticky note is its own like thing. So you have like gain going into this, which goes into like a chain module, which goes into this. It is its own DSP thing, but instead of using and writing it explicitly, you use these nodes that are already built, right? But understanding the DSP algorithm, you can use those nodes easier and understand what they're doing and why they're doing it. From after you implement the DSP, after you find and research the DSP algorithm, you're going to implement it in Highs, the algorithm itself, and then you're going to add UI functionality corresponding to what we have already. So, like on the Figma file with our plugin, you're going to add our UI to make it somewhat look like this, right? It's like for distortion example, you want your mix, how much of it's going through, your gain, how much signal you're processing. These graphs will just showcase like how it's changing it. If it's like bit crushing, in simple terms, you're reducing the sample rate. So you know how like old retro video games, how like it sounds very crunchy, like the 8-bit audio? That's what that is. You're lowering the resolution of the audio so that it can sound distorted, adding distortion to it. The frequency, like you're adjusting at what frequency you're applying that band of distortion to. Attack, I don't know why we have that. Oh, when it applies. A type, this will be a combo box where the user can go through maybe like 3 types of distortion in this case. Saturation, bit crush, something else. And a filter showcasing what like, or it just shows like low pass, high pass, and whatnot. Maybe like one more knob adjusting where that happens. But making your own individual plugin look like this will help the chain development team when we implement it into the bigger project, right? Because it's all cascading up to the big effect rack where it's going to look like this whole thing, right? Because the chain developments team, like that, their whole goal is to make these components like movable. So make this graphic EQ and have it respond with this and vice versa. Make these movable as a precursor to having them all done at once. You know what I mean? Just have the basic outline done, and then we can implement the algorithms later because we can extrapolate the source code from highs. It'll be easier that way instead of building everything on that one GitHub repository we have right here. Let me think about something else.
So is every individual effect going to have its own GitHub repository, and they're all going to merge them into?
Basically,
okay.
Yeah. If anything, we don't have to merge them. We could just use their algorithm, put them in them.
Include them.
Yeah. But that can be something y'all can keep as well.
Remind me if this is going to be specific to Fruity Loops or Logic Pro, or it can be implemented on different.
It's implemented on any of them. So like if we go into, let me see.
That's because of highs, right? I know like some plugin developers, they if you write it all from scratch, like it is platform dependent. If you're not using highs, I think.
Yeah, some of them are, but the reason why was because of JUCE, really.
Oh, JUCE, that's what I meant.
Yeah. So this is, I'll open it real quick, so it can make sense. But basically, what JUCE does and what this other, I don't know if it's software, but it's a compiler called CMake. So we go in, I think it's here. So we see like JUCE add plugin, and this is the project name that we have, but the formats, standalone VST3 AU, these are the type of plugin formats, like extensions. So you know how there's like a, what is it, like a Python file, there's HTML files, right? The way that the DAW communicates and gets information from a plugin is through the type of extension it has. So the way I have it set up, this repository is it yeah. The way we have this set up is it exports as 3 different formats. It uploads as AU, which is audio unit, and that's for Apple. So that's for the Logic Pro that I just showed you. VST3 is for all of them. All of them can use the VST3 format. And standalone is just like its own app. Like if you're running like Google Chrome or anything, it's its own app, right? And that's what I want to show you right now is after you can go in and clone the repository, go through the README to actually build it. You will be able to build through, and it will export through its own file wherever you have it. So in my case, it's in this file for Git. So audio plugin, and then it will be in this build file that is not included with the repository, because every time you build it, it creates a new one. So we shouldn't have that uploaded to the repository. But anyways, it's
sorry.
really,
Is there already a git ignore for that? Like in the so we don't have to touch that or anything? Okay.
no, I already did it. I remember for the last time I did this, I pushed the build and all the other ones. But this is what it builds as. Once you go through the README and actually build it, it'll build as this gain slider. Right now, it has the functionality, but for some reason, this slider doesn't respond to mouse movements. And I'll fix that later, but I just wanted to have something that, you know, you actually see a little plugin, right? Because this, once it works, once it responds to mouse movement, it will just decrease and increase the volume of whatever channel you have. So if I have it in like a drum loop channel, and that drum loop channel is going through this gain slider, and if I move this slider down, it will reduce the output volume. That's what that's doing. It's reducing the gain. But I'll figure that out. I'll push the changes later. But because the way it built before was like a hello world thing, which was kind of boring. But you can also, the reason why this is actually kind of nice is because you can go in and look at where, you know, you have the actual like code in and understand how they connect. Because, well, real quick, I can maybe tell you. It's kind of difficult to understand in a way. So in this plugin processor, that's where you're actually going to go in and make the DSP algorithm. And that's going to happen in this plugin block. So this processor block. That's where you actually go in and make the algorithm. And this is the algorithm right here. It's just based on for every sample, it's going to get the audio sample, and it's going to reduce it by the raw volume variable, which is changed by the slider. And then you get, you know, there's it's C++, so you have a .h to actually go in and declare all your variables, which is redundant, but it's okay. But yeah. And so, like I said, so you have to declare your variables in this plugin processor, and then, or the H in the header files, and then in your C++ files, you actually go in and, you know, give it functionality, declare what they actually do. Just ignore this. It builds anyways. It's just the name. For some reason, it doesn't work. But yeah, so the plugin editor is the UI, how it looks, and how it responds to the back end, which is the plugin processor. And you're really only going to be working with these four, or you add another one and include the other ones like you do with any project. But everything else you can just ignore. You can ignore this test. You can ignore the all the other files. But it's just these four. If you're on the for right now, the chain development team would look at. Like the libs. This is it'll literally be JUCE. It's the whole JUCE repository. And then build would be the build files, which you could ignore, because when you clone the repository and you get it working, what it's doing is it's going to download JUCE, the whole repository for JUCE, and it's going to include it into this. But anyways, I would say go in and look at this, maybe understand it a little bit. For right now, the plugin teams don't have to worry about this just yet. That'll be the chain development team. But yeah, to answer your question, it's cross-platform, and that's because of how it compiles and builds, and you don't got to worry about that. So that was the thing we were wondering about last semester, and you know, that was the answer. It's like it does it itself. The JUCE framework, when you declare what it exports as, it would do it. So you don't really got to worry about cross-platform usability. However, I guess later on we'll figure out what's the CPU usage, because we're going to have 3 different effects being used at once. So it might be heavy loaded on the CPU, which that would be like, you know, whenever you download something and it's like requires Mac OS and then this version, where we could do that. But I think that's about it for now. I'll try to make something more explicit in terms of the so like the FigJam of how I want the plugin teams to work, and then how I want the web development UI team to work. But yeah, what were y'all interested in like in terms of the two like possibilities of web development and plugin development.
I was thinking of doing the plugin.
Okay,
I'll just plug in for sure.
plugin.
Plugin for sure. EQ sounds fun.
Yeah, I know Highs they do have their own parametric EQ. Like I can go in here and like actually just make it real quick.
Right. I'm actually not even sure if that was part of the project. I had just seen like an EQ in those roles.
Yeah.
Earlier today.
Oh no, it is. It's a part of the project. I'm just showing you like Highs does have one that we could use so they can. I just don't know how to display it. It's kind of
Parametric EQ. It's halfway down, I think.
You're right in the middle.
oh right there. But yeah, it actually like shows EQ and then you can change the bands and whatnot. That's pretty cool. And then you can change what type of band they are. So this is like a shelf, high shelf, low shelf. You know, low pass, high pass. But yeah, that's a good one too. Like it's
I've used EQ before a lot. I have a lot of understanding as to what I'm doing when I manipulate EQ, but yeah, so
It's-
it'd be cool to like learn more about it. You know?
yeah. I think I have resources for each type of effect in the resources folder for understanding what each of them do. So like I have like a distortion video, EQ video, reverb, and that's just so. And it's basically what it's doing, or what it is. It's like a video of people using it, so you can understand the usage. I mean, you've used it before.
Yeah, it seems to like just affect at what frequencies certain sounds are able to pass through and to like what capacity they do.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it does. I don't know exactly the algorithm. That would be something to research, though. Yeah, I mean, for the teams. But yeah, I have those set up. But the main goal for right now would be the plugin teams going in and researching what their plugin does, and then implementing that into Highs, so that we can then do that in the main repository.
So we need to download JUCE or in some way get JUCE that we were able to do highs and use C++ in those.
Yeah, I think I do have a video. It's an older one. I would have to look at which one it is, where I have like a getting set up with Highs. But if not, I'll make another one because it's a little different. But so that repository that you're gonna be in for the GitHub organization, when you make it, you're gonna also install JUCE through that one. But you should also download JUCE on your machine in another location so that you can reference that for Highs, if that makes sense.
Makes sense.
It'll make sense whenever like there's also some setup videos I can show you, and I'll show you those later tonight. I'll find them and give to you because there's people who've made them, like getting set up in Windows or Mac, whatever you use. But
And I haven't used React actually at all, even though I've heard about it quite a bit. Is that something that we need to also download?
if you're not planning on working with the web development team, you don't have to use it.
Okay, it's for web development.
Yeah, it'll be for the web dev team. But that's a good question. So you don't gotta worry about that. Any other questions? Yeah.
So we need a JUCE library separately from the one that already in Highs.
No, you should have it already. I mean, I'll have to see like the actual download process again because I kind of forgot how it's referencing it.
Yeah.
But I don't. If you already downloaded Highs, you can. I mean, if you already downloaded JUCE, you should be able to just download Highs, and it should be able to run after you, like, give it the
Yeah, but when I git clone Highs, the JUCE library already inside the folder.
Oh,
That's what I mean. Do I need like both of them, the one that separately and the one that inside?
I think you can. I think if that's the case, you can delete the one that's by itself. So the JUCE file that's by itself.
Mhm.
I'll say delete that one. When you clone Highs, if it comes with it, just have that one and use that one.
Gotcha.
Right. Any other questions for now?
Is it one of the things like we're just I'm sure there are updates that are happening to both Highs and JUCE. We're just sticking on the version that's like most updated right now, or do we have like a version number?
We don't have a version number. Just get the one that's most updated.
Okay.
The most recent one. And then, I mean, we're not gonna really be using all the features like that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I mean, so it's okay if you download it once, as long as it can work, it'll be good. I mean, it will be fun because we're just getting remember like we're just getting the JUCE source folders after we built it in Highs.
Okay.
Any other questions?
For the reverb team, do you guys know? I mean, I know you said like we're still in the phase of doing research about this because I know reverb more than those other ones is like has a stupid amount of like ways you can do it. Like
Yeah.
you know about like convulsion filter. Like you can do reverb that's not even reverb. It's like you mentioned like so you can delay stuff really fast.
Yeah.
Right, and that eventually becomes reverb. You just set a delay to like 0.1 millisecond. It sounds like reverb. But then you can also like you can take they do this thing where you take a speaker and you put it in a room, you make it make a sound, and then they record it with a microphone, and then they subtract the sound, the original source sound from the impact they got from the microphone, and then you can apply that to other sounds to make other sounds sound like they're coming from that room. If that makes
Oh,
sense.
I think I see what you mean.
It's like it's not a reverb, it's like a convulsor because and so they'll have convulsions for like big theaters or whatever, like big churches or stuff.
Yeah.
Then you can apply convulsion, and it sounds like reverb. People think it's reverb, but it's technically not. It's like a convulsion.
Okay.
And so, but then that's like a whole other thing. But then there's reverb where you delay stuff like that. But then there's like digital stuff that has other algorithms that isn't about delaying, repeating stuff. It's like way more complicated.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
I know for sure Highs has their own.
Mm-hmm.
They have two different ones. They have one for the script node and they have one for the effects right here. So this, if you add another one, it's
So that, I guess maybe then my question is like, how much are we? I mean, I know you so you're saying like, let's get it working in but both standalone and in a DAW.
Yeah.
With the Highs defaults, everything. So we're not touching any C++. Or like, or is this what you're clarifying me if I'm wrong here? But we set up everything so the UI works, the chain works, everything works before we modify any of the algorithms. Or are we modifying the algorithms as soon as we want to?
so there's like there's there will be two different ways to do it in Highs. So there's the script node, which is the little nodes. So they're actually like little like mathematical nodes and whatnot. That you can go in and create your own DSP algorithm to make reverb,
Yeah.
or you can go in and have the pre-existing reverb to use and then later on change it. But yes, I want it working now with already pre-existing Highs, DSP algorithms and whatnot, so that we can go in later and change it. Because I mean, it is just it's a school project, right? But like, so it's not as it's not a big necessity for it to be like industry breaking unique. You know what I mean? So long as it's working and it looks good and it's good to showcase. I mean, it's like it has to be something where y'all put in effort, just as much as me and Josh or whoever, So yes, I want it working now and we can change it later. Because that would be in my opinion, or in my head, it's the easiest route. And it doesn't put too much stress on understanding like crazy mathematical like formulas to implement like a reverb and EQ and whatnot. Because it's there, it exists. Might as well leverage it. Any questions? I think we're good for today. So I'll upload like a picture or something of how I want the plugin teams to work. Get y'all's GitHub information so I can add y'all to the organization. Also, give y'all show y'all what we have, and y'all can choose what team you would want to be on or what effect you want to work on. And then I'll update the repository for the website. It says boilerplate for our UI team. And then I think that'll be it for today. I'll upload this video later on.
Did have a question. Do you guys want to do anything for like task boards or what about like deadlines? I know in the video you had like some kind of dates for different phases.
Yeah.
But then like in smaller than that though, like individual tasks for individual people.
Like a Trello?
Yeah, like a Trello. Yeah.
Yeah, we could do something like that. I think I want to more now because it was brought up to actually not micromanage or anything, but go in, make little group chats with the plugin teams and keep updates there instead of through the actual like main Discord channel because I know
Yeah.
some people might not be as eager to talk with everybody looking. Yeah, but like in a little small setting, it'll be easier for people to engage. So I'll do that. And I was making sub chats with like the distortion. I was starting to make it. I was like, this is excessive. I'm gonna just do it like a DM style where it's just the what we have because when I make the chats, it also adds the officers and the the vice presidents and whatnot. So it's just a bunch of like if I add everybody in that channel, they're still getting it. You know what I mean? Like, but I think we have enough channels for now. But yeah, I'll do that. I'll try to be more. I don't know what the word is. Guiding with the actual development, so it can be streamlined. Like
I just like I want to be good at like Trello. I don't know about what you guys' other experience with like task management stuff, but it seems because it seems like every project I've done with other people is like we start and we're like, okay, we're gonna be very organized. Towards the end, it's just like 1,000 Discord messages like, okay, you're doing this, I'm doing this, it's just like all just this crazy hair. And it ends up working out kind of, but it's like, man, it's cool to have a project where we stick with it. I don't know. I mean, everyone has to be okay with that, but I'm okay with whatever.
yeah, I was doing it. I was trying to do it last semester with GitHub projects because they're on project management stuff.
Yeah.
Didn't work.
Yeah.
It did not work. But I'll see about that software. You said it's Trello.
Trello. Yeah.
I'll see about it.
Have you ever used like a task management thing before? You have like different columns, like incomplete and then in progress, and
Yes,
done,
done.
waiting for review, etc.
Yeah, that's what the GitHub.
Oh,
it's the
does
same
they have
thing.
one of those? Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
But I don't think it'll really work if it's like if we're not pushing to a repository that much. I mean, it will work for like the UI team and chain development team, but all the other individual plugins, I don't think it will work so much because we're not really pushing a highest project as a repo all the time. You know what I mean? But I can still see about it because yeah, that's a good point. Being organized really will help because that was a main failure point last semester. We got everything done at the last minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll see about that because that's a good idea. Any other questions, comments, concerns? I don't think
I didn't take a picture of this.